into the place. So whenever something like that happens, it is a job of this ordering service using Kafka or Solo. It is their job. These are Solo or Kafka is a streaming service or streaming technology. These technologies enables us to, you can say, transmit the information between the blocks. Then a pluggable membership service provider is basically it involves in cryptographic identities. That means the entities or the certifications generated, the generation of certification is done by this MSP, membership service provider. Similar to like when you joined to this particular college, you must be given an iCard. Your data, your certificates must have been checked by the authorities, and they issue an iCard based on that. So that is your authority, or that is your certification. The same way, this MSP has to create a certificate based on your identity, and then certificate will be used by the node to communicate with the Hyperledger Fabric. Then smart contract. Then sorry, the additional or optional layer is peer-to-peer gossip service. So that is basically sometimes it is there in order to, as it connects to the ordering service and it transmits the data or whatever happens, it keeps every node updated. Then it is a smart contract, the heart of the entire Hyperledger or entire blockchain world. So smart contracts in this world is known as a chain code. Now it runs within a container environment, and that is a Docker for isolation. We will see in the next lecture that what is a Docker, how it can be done, how it can be used and everything. Now, most of the people come to me, they ask a very simple question, right? Like blockchain uses a database or not? If it uses a database, we can change it. Whether it uses a database or not, that is the first question. So my question is to you guys, that do you think that blockchain uses a database? Anyone?
Yes, for storing the data, we can go for the database, but whenever we are making an entry in database, we need to generate a block, I think so.
Yeah, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. But my point is, does it use database? And if it uses database, then what is the database? If any idea, anyone?
In Hyperledger, I think it is using database as a CouchDB or state level database.
Yes. CouchDB database is used. Thank you for the answer. So the point is, CouchDB is a NoSQL sort of database, again, from the Apache or the Linux family. So the point is, it has to store the data somewhere, otherwise it won't work. But the point is, it is not a normal database. Then you can just query. You have to go through that particular UI which you have designed. And even if you manage to access the data recording in that particular database, again, it is in hashed format. So you cannot change or you cannot do anything at all in that. Okay. And we tried to do that also. We tried to change and the entire network crashed because it was a single node network. The entire node crashed because there was no other node to get to sync from. Then a pluggable endorsement and validation policy enforcement also, because the nodes, the blocks or whatever transaction happened, it needs to be validated. So it is their job. Right. Then these are the elements in particular Hyperledger Fabric world. Peers as basically nodes, if you can say. Committing peer, so that is the, you can say that commits block or records or transaction happened in that. Those are those things. Orderers, client, MSPs, and channels and chain code. So we will go one by one. Then endorsing peer, as I told you before also, a committing peer that can endorse a transaction. That means peer, these roles are optional also. Same peer can be a committing peer as well as an endorsing peer also. Then orderer. So what is an orderer? So orderer basically is a collection of nodes that orders and broadcasts the transactions to the rest of the network peers. Client. So who is a client? Us, in terms of the users of the Fabric network. So client application helps users to interact with the Fabric network. In MSP, as we discussed before, it deals with security certificates. Then channels. So channel is a subnet within the main Fabric network. This facilitate higher data confidentiality among peers. So basically, when you have two peers, you can create a channel, and then those channels are used to communicate among the peers. So we will see that in the last lecture, that how these channels work and how to communicate between these channels or among these channels. And the last and the main or the most important part is the chain code. So once you deploy, once you have a code in written in Go, you can you can deploy that chain code using these Fabric binaries and on the Docker itself, right? Fabric Access Membership. So that is the MSP, which is responsible for the management of user identities, which is, you can say it is the function of, or it includes identity validation, authentication in network access controls. That means this is your network administrator who can record a transaction, who can use the, who can use the entire network and everything around it. That works, that is controlled by this MSP, membership provider, membership service provider. Now coming back to consensus, I told you before that there is a particular thing called BFT or Byzantine fault tolerance. In this case, it is practical BFT. Now for that, I need to give you a little example of how that entire thing came into picture. Now, there is a very old issue in terms of Byzantine generals problem. Now I'll just narrate that riddle to you. एक आर्मी है A, दूसरी आर्मी है B. Both armies are governed by the same king, but वो लोग कुछ डिस्टेंस पे हैं और बीच में the entire enemy army is there, right? So now if they both attack at the same time, then they will be able to defeat the enemy. But if that doesn't happen, A attacks before B attacks, or the attack is not synchronous, the attack will fail and they will lose. Now in this case, what will you do? You have to send agents or your spies or whatever there to the next army or to the, you can say, next part of your army. So how will you solve this problem? Any idea?
Some commander will be there who is going to command them.
Yeah, of course, then.
And maybe
Or-
send signals to them.
Yeah,
at the
but that
same
signal,
time,
yeah, the signals
the
are
same timing.
signals are interpreted, or you can say intercepted by the enemy army and you are gone. So the message never reached to B army. So they will, there is no synchronization.
Is it something like what you can do? That is something like a duplex type of communication can be established. Duplex type of communication can be established. Because in that case, the main problem is only for that acknowledgement what we have to wait for from each end. So even in that case, at some level, if we can manage some duplex type of communication in between two part of a same army, then I think that can be done. This is my personal view, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. But unfortunately, that is not the answer over here. So anything else? Anyone else? You already have heard the answer from me in the beginning. Even the word itself says that, consensus. Now, any idea?
Consensus meaning both of the separate army, the parts of the army should be having a consensus on the same signs, or
True.
maybe consensus on the the meaning of what they are trying to
Agreed.
understand
Agreed.
out of the message, right?
Yes. And how do we reach to consensus?
Maybe they both agree, like the commanders
So,
of both the sides agree.
more than 50% has to, the answer more than 50% has to be the same, as I
Yes.
told in the beginning.
Yes.
So let's say A army sends 10 spies to the B army. Let's say 2-3 पकड़े गए, लेकिन बाकी के साथ पहुंच गए with the same information. That means more than 5 agents reach to the next part. That means we have reached a consensus. The attack is supposed to happen at 11 a.m. and the attack will happen at 11 a.m. from both the armies because they have reached to a consensus.
So the credibility of information comes with 50% consensus. That's
Yeah,
what
more
you're
than
trying to
50%.
say, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
more than
thanks.
50%. If you don't reach more than 50%, then their transaction, of course, let's say there are they उन्होंने 10 भेजे लेकिन 7 पकड़े गए और 3 ही पहुंचे, तो वो नहीं एक्सेप्ट करेंगे because the information is changed.
Right.
Simple.
Sir, is there any threshold level for that? Why they are considering only the 50%? Because in between from 0 to 100, there are some other numbers also. Just is for my personal
No, practically what happens is in this consensus mechanism, you can even set that number if you want to have 50, 70, 80%, but in general, it is 50%. So basically it is a...
What is the logic behind that? That's what I'm asking.
So pardon, I mean, your voice is a bit echoing, so I was not able to hear properly.
Yeah, what I'm saying that what is the basic reason behind considering that 50% as a threshold level? That's it. That is my question. Why not any other number? Is there any idea, sir? Please.
अगर ये आकर मैं specifically बताऊं तो it is like said that आप let's say there are 4 people in the group, 4 panelists, तो आप 2 को अगर कर देते हो तो you have a majority. So 50% is basically majority. तो अगर आपने एक चीज यहाँ से 10 लोगों को भेजा है, अगर 6 लोग वहां पहुंच जाते, that means majority is there with the original information. So 50% is basically any number which is divided into 50, basically more than 50, 51 is the majority, and that is the reason
like
that the number is
like
done.
It's like a corporate world, na? 51.9 ratio.
Yes, because you own that company. The moment you have 49% shares, you disown the company. Very simple.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
So that is the reason for 50% agreement or 50% people has to agree in order to reach to a consensus. And that is the core of this entire world. If you don't understand this part, you will never be able to understand Hyperledger or any other blockchain network in detail. And that is why I'm putting pressure on certain things, even if, because if you don't understand these things, it is next to impossible to understand this technology completely, right? So here, that is a PBFT, practical Byzantine's fault tolerance, and that is why this problem occurred in the history, and that is the reason that the name is Byzantine fault tolerance. Even if you go to Google and search this Byzantine general problem, you will be presented with the same puzzle. Now, but तो फिर ये Ethereum में कैसे होता है? तो Ethereum में, as I told you before, Ethereum में एक क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल रिलीज की जाती है. दैट क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल जैसे ही वो रिलीज होती है, सब माइनर्स लग जाते हैं उसको सॉल्व करने में. अभी पजल कोई मैथमेटिक पजल है कि मुझे सॉल्व करना है? नहीं, इट्स अ क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल. दैट मींस यू नीड टू हैव इनफ हार्डवेयर रिसोर्सेज टू सॉल्व दैट पजल. नाउ लेट्स से 10 लोग एक साथ लग गए हैं. अभी 10 में से कोई एक सॉल्व करता है, बाकी 9 नहीं कर पाते हैं. तो जो एक ने, क्योंकि उसका हार्डवेयर सबसे स्ट्रांग है, सो द शॉर्टेस्ट टाइम इज द फर्स्ट वन and he gets the money for that particular transaction. बाकी 9 रह जाते हैं. And that is why it is extremely dangerous. Plus it takes 8 minutes to finalize the transaction on the blockchain network. And that is the reason that they are moving towards a different consensus mechanism now. But with private network or private blockchain networks, it is not the case, right? And consensus fabric basically is using the nodes in distributed networks. Agree upon, as I've told you before, single value of truth that gets added to the shared ledger or DB. So transaction endorsement, ordering, and validation and commitment. These are the 3 steps which are involved in any sort of, you can say, transaction getting recorded to a fabric. So ordering in fabric is basically the transaction that take place within a period are sorted into a block. These blocks are chronologically committed to the ledger. And that is how ordering works. Chronological. So that means according to the time. Then if in a blockchain network, when transaction need to be committed in the ledger, so the order also proves the validity. As we discussed earlier, that a student changed his number. Now if the order is not there, the entire transaction, the entire immutability or the entire, you can say, pillar of that particular blockchain network will be useless. And that is why ordering is the most important service. Why? Because it keeps a chronological stack of transactions. If that doesn't happen, your entire blockchain network is useless. So these are the 2 mechanisms currently being used by Hyperledger Fabric. One is BYFT, the other is an RAFT. Now BYFT basically it's we discussed already. And again, in this world also, it is not something like cryptography. Cryptography is not used. Most of the people are under that impression that cryptography is only used in Ethereum based or cryptocurrency based or public networks. But that is not the case. Here also, We need to have that cryptography in place because that is how you generate the hashing and that is how you communicate. Then the other mechanism is RAFT. That is a consensus mechanism, which is from the Paxos family of algorithms. And just a second. Then it offers a generic way to distribute a state machine across a cluster of computing system, ensuring that each node in the cluster agrees upon the same series of state transactions. So basically, again, it identifies the state of that particular transaction in terms of the way they use EVM. Now, that is why they have used RAFT over here, maybe because there were some issues with BYFT. So now they are using RAFT, and because in order to publish to network, you have to have this consensus mechanism in place. Today we will see both the things, BYFT and RAFT on the chain stack account, on which you will be able to see that, okay, there is an RAFT account and it is named after reliable, replicated, redundant and fault tolerant. So basically it's 3R and last is and fault tolerant. So R is for reliable, replicated, redundant 3. So point is, again, RAFT supports Go, C++, Java and Scala. Of course, BYFT is also with Go and everything. Why somebody uses BYFT and why somebody uses RAFT is strictly upon them, because when whoever develops this particular piece of network has to understand the limitations or has to understand the characteristics of these mechanisms, and accordingly they can use. Now, transaction, yes.
So we do have question from one of the participants.
Sure, please go ahead.
Which nodes takes care of 50% endorsements in Hyperledger to get transactions executed?
See, basically in transaction, there is no 50% agreement governed by anyone because it is a central authority. As soon as you write down at the core, it checks because those nodes are already MSP. I mean to say membership service providers nodes. So those transactions are already valid transactions. So you can see that. So there is no 51% agreeing mechanisms over there. But if you write down a different transaction, as I told you before, it is an insert mechanism. So the point is you can check the custodian or historian value, and then you can see the entire history of that particular transaction. But at the core, it may do that 50% or not, but pointly when you see from the front end, you will not be able to see this in picture because it is already an MSP. As I told you before, अगर आपने बहुत ही comprehensive और बहुत ही ऐसी एक buy की है, you can say safe, उसको और आप अगर safe भी खोलो, what is the use of that? Nothing. The same way, अगर आपने implementation किया है और आपका जो machine है, जो it is in unsecured mode, anybody can come and change insert a new transaction. And then it will not check that whether every node agrees to that or not, because that was done from a proper node. But somebody raises a query, then they can go back and look at that particular transaction history, and they will be able to check that, okay, this transaction was previously was this, and now this other transaction is that, right?
Mr. Sandeep, sir, do you have any question? Okay.
No, it's okay. Thank you. I understood, madam. Thank you so much.
Sir, you can proceed.
Yeah, so what we are going to see is transaction flow in Fabric. So basically, okay, sorry, I forgot to ask, but is there any other question from anyone else till now? Any other question? That is fine, because this is again, this will take some 10-15 minutes. Transaction flow in Fabric. So any other question regarding to this technology or regarding anything Ethereum we have discussed till now?
No, sir, as of now.
Okay, fine, fantastic. So now let us go towards transaction flow in Fabric. So I'll just read because these many lines I am not able to remember. So I'll just read the important ones. So in a Fabric network, it is the peers who are responsible for maintaining the ledger state. Normally the system is designed in such a way that different nodes in the network play different roles. As we already saw, peer nodes, endorser nodes, MSP nodes. that is just like a normal office scenario. I mean, the way you have like assistant professors, HODs, maybe deans and principals. So every office works in the same manner. The same way it happens like this. So committing and endorsing peers are generally the same. Endorsing peers have access to the network and can house smart contracts along with behaving as a committing peer. So as I told you that if there is a possibility over there, that multi-node organization is not possible. So in that case, single node organization is also possible over there. Let's say in Docker, there are 5 images created. I'll explain in detail, but for you, let's say there are 5 computers. So one computer can act as a peer, the other computer can act as an MSP provider, the other computer can act as an endorsing or committing peer. So point is, if you do not have that hardware resources with you, you can combine these roles into a single peer. So the transaction flow begins when a client sends a transaction proposal to be endorsed by the endorsing peers. Now endorsing peers verify the client proposal and execute the transaction without committing to the ledger. The output is a set of values called read-write set. The proposal response and outputs are signed and sent back to the client by the endorsing peers. The client collects these endorsement proposal responses and sends back to the orderer. The orderer checks if the transactions is endorsed according to the endorsement policy. Now, what is endorsement policy? So very simple. अगर आप बैंक में जाते हो, एक सेविंग्स बैंक का अकाउंट खोलते हो, सेविंग्स अकाउंट खोलते हो, तो उसमें मिनिमम you have to keep 10,000 rupees. Now, let's say you have deposited 15,000 rupees, and now you have made a transaction of 13,000 rupees. Now there is a policy violation over here. What is a policy violation? Because it is a savings account, you cannot have that 13,000 rupees. You can have 10,000, but 5,000, but you cannot have 10,000. So the point is that is an endorsement or there is a violation in the transaction, and that is how this entire smart contract is written. So what transactions are permitted, what transactions are not permitted. If the transaction is within the value which is there, अगर मैं यहाँ से सेंड करता हूँ और मेरे पास खुद 100 है and I want to transmit 200 elements or 200 items to someone else, how can I? Not possible, because the minimum is you have only 100. So that happens in this particular we can say part. The orderer then orders the transactions to a block which it forwards to all the peers in the network. And the read-write sets verify the transactions before the content of the ledger and the world state is updated. What is world state? World state is basically to keep every node on the same page. This has to be done. Otherwise, what will happen? The same thing. अगर हम लोग सभी isolation में काम करने लगे, then there will be no sharing. There will not be any other. अगर मैं यहाँ कुछ करता हूँ, पायल अपने घर से कुछ करती है, आप में से कोई और अपने घर पे कुछ और करता है, तो अगर हम तीनों कनेक्टेड नहीं है, तो हम में से किसी को कुछ भी अपने चीजों के बारे में कुछ पता नहीं चलेगा. अपना हम सबको मालूम है, लेकिन हमारा किसी और को पता नहीं चलेगा. That means sharing stops. Decentralization में this is impossible. Why? Because decentralization works on this same principle कि सबको information share करनी है. That is the transparency layer has to be added in this thing, and that is why this thing has to be done. Now we have seen that particular flow, how that works. Now channels in Fabric. So how the transaction happens, that is basically in terms of channels it happens. So channels allow different organizations to utilize the same network while maintaining separation between multiple blockchains. So let me just brief you about this. As I told you before, in the supply chain management, there is a raw material supplier, there is a manufacturer, then there is the first distributor, then there is supplier and the sub supplier and go on. So raw manufacturing का जो काम करता है उसका ब्लॉकचेन नेटवर्क अलग है, मैन्युफैक्चरर का ब्लॉकचेन नेटवर्क अलग है. हाँ, तो दोज आर द पार्ट्स ऑफ द सेम स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. ठीक है, अब ये कनेक्ट कैसे करता है इन सबको वो समझते हैं a bit in detail. So let's say there is a raw material supplier, there is a manufacturer, there is a distributor. Only 3 entities are involved. Now ये तीनों एंटिटीज मिलके एक बिजनेस शुरू करते हैं कि भाई मैं तुझसे 10 टन ये रॉ मटेरियल लूंगा. I will manufacture 100 elements and I'll distribute or I'll give that 100 elements to that distributor. तो एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गया, एक बिजनेस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कि भाई मैं जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है आपकी, उससे मैं ये चीजें खरीदूंगा एट दिस प्राइस. और वो वही कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इन डिफरेंट वे happens with the distributor also कि भाई from the manufacturer side, manufacturer भी 100 rupees उसका प्रोडक्ट को देगा and benefit and then the cycle moves on. So अपने तक पहुंचते पहुंचते बहुत सारे बेनिफिट्स के लेयर ऐड हो जाते हैं. So अभी सिचुएशन ये है कि ये तो नॉर्मल बिजनेस प्रोसीजर है. अभी ये जब ब्लॉकचेन में आता है, दिस एंटायर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिकम्स अ स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, राइट. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज, अगर अभी मैंने जैसे एक जो आदमी है रॉ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सप्लायर, उसने कुछ सप्लाई किया है, लेट्स से 10 टन का गुड्स मुझे सप्लाई किया है, उसने सप्लाई किया आज, लेकिन उसने 2 दिन पहले मुझे बोला है कि सर मैंने सप्लाई कर दिया, डोंट वरी आप तक पहुंच जाएगा. नाउ व्हाट विल हैपन इज, उसने 2 दिन पहले मुझे बोला है, लेकिन 48 आवर्स तक उसने भेजा नहीं. अभी जब वो मुझे भेजा, जब जो मुझे आज मंडे मिलना है वो मुझे मिलेगा वेडनेसडे को, बिकॉज इट वाज सम डिले. हम आज भी हम वो ये करते हैं कि अगर मुझे मेरा कोई दोस्त फोन करता है और मैं पहुंचा नहीं हूँ तो मैं यही जवाब देता हूँ मैं 5 मिनट में पहुंच जाऊंगा. द 5 minutes नेवर हैपन बिकॉज वी आर ऑलवेज 10-15 minutes अवे फ्रॉम द प्लेस. लेकिन हम क्या बोलते हैं, 5 मिनट में पहुंच जाएंगे. सेम हैपन्स विथ एंटायर सप्लाई चेन नेटवर्क, सेम. सो द मोमेंट everybody is on blockchain, तो वो आदमी झूठ नहीं बोल सकता, because he has to enter that particular detail into smart contract. As soon as he enters on his node, his orderer node will broadcast to every other node. Yani that means it will broadcast to me as a manufacturer, it will broadcast to distributor as a distributor. Whatever information, restricted information, the distributor has to see. So what happens is he cannot lie, and that is how the layer of transparency is added into blockchain networks. So the next line, as you can see, only the members of the channel can see the transaction details. That means वो अगर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को उससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर विल नॉट बी एबल टू सी द ट्रांजेक्शन दैट ये मैन्युफैक्चरर ने इसको यहाँ से ये गुड्स खरीदे हैं एट दिस प्राइस. व्हाई? बिकॉज देन ही विल हैव एन आइडिया ऑफ द एंटायर प्रोसेस एंड देन देयर विल बी डिस्प्यूट इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्राइसिंग, जो बिजनेस में नहीं चल सकता. आज भी अगर हम कोलगेट का टूथपेस्ट या कोई भी टूथपेस्ट लाते हैं 10 रुपए में, 50 रुपए में, 100 रुपए में, लेकिन वी डोंट नो द प्राइस एक्चुअली which is required to build that product or to make that product, we don't know, but it is not our job to know, and that is how profits are earned. अगर वो पता चल जाए तो गया काम से, बिजनेस नहीं चल पाएगा. And that is why channels are important part of Hyperledger Fabric, because channels communicate with each other, and that is how they share data, right? So Hyperledger Fabric channel is a private subnet of communication between 2 or more specific network members for conducting private. In our case, it can be organizations also. Anchor peers per member, the shared ledger, chain code applications, or any services, the similar ones which we have seen. And MSP, again, the certification is provided by this MSP identity. So MSP identity के certificate provide करने के बाद channels open to communicate with each other. So what does this MSP provider do? So it's a logical component that manages the user identity and credentials in terms of authorization, उसको कितना access देना है. So whenever we deploy a Hyperledger contract, there is an ACL, access control list also. So किसको कितना control देना है, because this is a private blockchain network. That means the access also is restricted. The complete access, let's say the manufacturer, because in our case, manufacturer is the prime entity. So manufacturer designs the entire contract, how he does business with raw manufacturing suppliers, how he does business with suppliers or distributors. So that the entire contract is governed by him or the manufacturer. So the manufacturer is his job to maintain everything the same way, to provide the certificate or the authority to by peer nodes. In peer nodes in terms of the other nodes, the other raw manufacturing supplier and the distributor. So in this case, the identity is managed by MSP. So the certificates are issued, and it allows the channels to communicate. In particular, an MSP abstracts away all the cryptographic mechanisms and protocols behind issuing certificates, validating certificates, and user authentication. Same way, अगर आपको मालूम हो तो AD authentication होता है, right? Active Directory authentication होता है. So वो जो एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी है वो कहाँ से मिलता है, तो आप अगर Azure में ट्राई करते हो तो Azure का जो मास्टर अकाउंट है उसके साथ आपके यूजर्स कनेक्टेड रहते हैं. तो जितने यूजर्स को आपने वो एक्सेस दिया है, दे विल बी एबल टू एक्सेस. द सेम वे इट वर्क्स विद MSP. Hyperledger Fabric network possibly can be run by one or more MSPs also, because if it is a very large organization, possibly different certifications across हो सकते. Certificate issue करता है, that is the CA. So certificate authorities are the entities responsible for issuing the user identity. That means credentials. In our case, it is a certificate. The issued certificate is a file, basically associated or associates the user identity with a set of cryptographic keys. I don't believe that all of you guys need to be told that what is a cryptographic key. And the CAs are also capable of revoking the issued certificate. जैसे अगर I am handling the network in my company and now I resign. So of course my certificate has to be revoked and some other person will be there and a new certificate will be issued. Or in other case, let's say अगर मैं एक मैन्युफैक्चरर होते हुए मुझे रॉ मटेरियल सप्लायर के साथ कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो गया and I want to change my raw material supplier, so I will delete that entire node, I will delete the entire set of certifications and everything, and I'll issue a new one so that वो पुराना जो रॉ मटेरियल सप्लायर है will not be able to communicate with my blockchain network anymore. ठीक है, अभी तक आपको ये लग रहा होगा कि ये तो नॉर्मल क्लाइंट सर्वर टेक्नोलॉजी हो गया. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir. We do have dependencies.
Yes. So the point is that is not a dependency. Now why let me tell you. What is the biggest challenge in doing business? You only told Payal in the beginning the trust among
Yes.
the business participants. Let's say agar जैसे you know me and that's why you called me or we met and then we discussed and I am like right now presenting the lecture in front of all of you. The point is, let's say you try to find somebody on Google. Will you be able to have the same trust for him or her? No, because you don't know. The point is, trust in the entire business world is extremely important, and that is the limitation of business. Because you don't trust anyone, you don't, because अगर मैं किसका काम करूंगा पैसा मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा ये वो, and that is why these contracts have or took place in or come in the picture, that if the contract is there in such a way, smart contract, that no party can change. कितनी बार ऐसा होता है कि we agreed to a number and the other party disagrees later on? Yes, होता है. Like we Gujaratis like to get discounts very often. तो agree कर दिया कि नहीं 1000 में, तो फिर हम बोलेंगे 900 में देगा. So the point is, everybody likes to change the number. Now, if the entire business process is governed in using or by using smart contracts that cannot be changed for a business year or business financial year, that means everybody has to do business according to those rules agreed upon while they have created the contract. So it is not a limitation, it is a binding agreement which all the computer or all the entities have to agree upon. So it is not a restriction. Second thing, if it is I am a manufacturer and I own the contract, then you are supposed to contact my nodes? No. In Hyperledger also, every node is a client and server. So as soon as you deploy your own node in your organization, you will receive the data from your own, you can say database only. You will not talk to my database, you will talk to your own database, but our databases are in sync. So that means whatever data I can see, the same data will be seen by you. So it is a restricted public private network, which allows the businesses to function very quickly and transparently. Now, let me give you one more example because it is already 26, I believe 12:30 is your lunch time. So I'll just take a minute or two. Why that is necessary? In a very typical issue with this automotive world, in Mercedes and high-end car, Mercedes, Audi, other cars, the car A series and whatever. I am not very much fond of those cars, so I'm not sure about the series. But let's say hypothetically there are A, B, C, D, E in other series. Now the mechanic, if a car is in trouble, the mechanic reaches to the mechanic. So the mechanic has to like check the part. Okay, this is the faulty part and it needs to be replaced. And in most of these high-end cars, they don't repair; they just replace the part. Now the point is, when they try to because the mechanic is not able to figure out that exactly which part will be fit in this particular car. So what will happen is he or she will order all the parts from all the series. The same part, sorry, it's the same part from all the series. And then he will try to check, okay, कौन सा लगेगा, and then he will do. Now ये आपको silly लगेगा, लेकिन ये बहुत बड़ा problem है in the automotive world. Almost $400 million का नुकसान होता है every year because of this. So why? Because there is no chain. There is no why this happens? Because raw material supplier uses his own world, manufacturer uses his own ERP system, the distributor uses his own ERP system. So by the time it reaches to garages, the entire part, I mean, this part belongs to this particular car. The entire chain is missing because there is no layer combining all these authorities. And that's where this thing comes in the picture, that if you do that, you will be able to check that, okay, I have like done this thing and I have presented this entire demo to Toyota and they liked it very good. They liked it very much. And like I'm not myself have not done that but my owner presented this situation to Toyota, and then what happened, I don't know. But the point is they liked it, but by the time I left the company, so I'm not sure what happened to that project. But point is, this can be avoided using this thing because there is a transparency, there is a communication between all these parties on the same grounds. Like I presented this to a very senior person in USA, and only 2 lines he said that, Sunil, you have solved the biggest challenge of transparency in the automotive business. And he congratulated me to create that sort of smart contract. So the point is, these are business problems which are hampering the entire business world on a very large scale. And using these technologies, you can solve these problems. I'm not saying easily, but I will say quickly, permanently, so that these problems will never arise. Because in the previous case, let's say if a mechanic has to order 10 parts, he will fit 1 and he will send 9 back. Now he will bear the cost of that transportation of that particular 9 parts. Of course, the manufacturer or the guy, the bigger guy, and that's where the loss comes in the picture. And that's why technologies like this can help to solve these business problems. And not just having financial world, which everybody is fascinated about cryptocurrency and मुझे इतना मिला ना Bitcoin का भाव तो $1,000 है कि $1,000 है कि 10,000. But Hyperledger or any other enterprise grade private network is capable enough to solve this particular permanently, right? So I believe Payal, it is 12:30, so time for.
Yes, sir. Sir, we have only one question.
Yes.
Sir, question is, all the blocks in the blockchain network is connected using linked list or some kind of pointer.
Right.
So will there be any access time when there must be some access time when we want to access a particular block in the chain?
Right. So you want a latency time, right?
Yes.
The time, let's say if I fire my browser and I open gmail.com, so obviously it will take some few seconds to load the page from the server, and then I will be able to log in. Is that the same time you are asking about or something else?
Yes, sir. Because in linked list, whenever we want to find a particular block, we have to traverse entire chain. So
True.
I think participant, yes.
Yeah, I agree to that question. That's a very interesting question. Now, what happens is the block size is limited or fixed. So 1 MB or 2 MB. So those are the point is the linked list. Sorry, not even 1 MB. I believe it is 1 KB or 2 KB or something like that. I'm not known to the exact figure, but the point is, let's say it can accommodate 10 transactions. Then as soon as the block is filled, then it will move towards the next block and so on. The blocks are also connected through the linked list and all, but the latency period is minimal because you are talking to your own network only. And since it is a private network, the amount of transactions don't happen in that large demand. Because अगर आप supply chain network का example देखो तो हर रोज आप कितने transaction करोगे? 1, 2 max. So the chances of traversing to a particular transaction, बहुत लंबा transaction ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है यहाँ पर, because it's a restricted and only you can say entities involved in business are involved. There is no latency time. More than that, you are the client and you are the server. That means you are so that latency time ever. If you have any issue with the node, delete the node and create the node again, sync. You will get all the data back. So there is no waiting period over here because there is no POW over here. There is no consensus mechanism in terms of that 51% has to agree or somebody has to solve or somebody has to validate that record and then it comes back. No, it is not like that. And that is why as soon as you do any transaction, it will immediately get recorded. But in terms of fetching, maybe because when you check that particular thing, but again, the transaction number is a one number only. So the point is the DB can quickly create an index and DB can quickly find out that because the DB is CouchDB, it's a NoSQL DB. So that means anyways, let's say hypothetically every record is in a different JSON. So you are just identify the transaction number. So you can just quickly pull that out and you are done. The only thing which you are confused about is this one, that the links, but that is how blocks are created. That is not how the data is stored. So data can be fetched very quickly.
Sir, what if we are on public network?
Public network, again, if you have synced that data properly in your network, then you will be able to see. Otherwise, there will be some time. But fetching always does, if the record is there, it depends on your internet because it is a public network, it is connected through internet. And the point is, if you are fetching that, then probably a few seconds maybe, depends on your internet speed, but it is not that much. But recording takes time, 8 minutes, because of that POW consensus mechanism.
Okay, sir. I think your question is answered. Who has asked this question? If you have any query, you can ask. Okay, sir. So we'll meet at 2 p.m.
Sure.
Using the same link we have to join. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just pause the lecture. I'm not going to disconnect, right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So to all the participants, we'll meet at 2 p.m. using the same link.
Thanks, Payal. Thanks, Mr. Sunil Kapadia.
Thank you very
Great
much.
learning today.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.